Blackwood village lay nestled in the dense forests of northern America, with its chilly weather and quiet roads. It was the perfect place to escape the noise of the city. However, there was one strange thing that no one could explain: the supernatural phenomena that the village had witnessed over the years. Lena, a young journalist, had just been assigned to Blackwood to write an article about the history and people of the village. She didn't believe in supernatural events and thought they were just products of imagination. But as soon as she entered the village, she immediately felt that something was off. One evening, while Lena was sitting in the village cafe, Mrs. Marissa, an elderly woman, continued to talk about a strange storm that occurred over 30 years ago. She said that the storm didn't just bring wind and rain, but also strange lights in the sky, lights that people believed were a sign of a supernatural event. I know this may sound hard to believe, but the lights were unlike anything we could explain, Mrs. Marissa said. Some people said it was a sign of something coming from the other side. Lena felt her curiosity rising. She couldn't ignore these stories, but at the same time, she couldn't easily believe them. She decided to explore the village and uncover the mysteries hiding there. Lena began walking around the village at night, wanting to learn more about the strange events Mrs. Marissa had mentioned. As she passed the old cemetery at the edge of the village, she felt a biting cold breeze sweep through. The air around her suddenly became thick, as if something didn't belong there. As Lena walked past the cemetery, she heard faint whispers, as if someone was calling her name. She turned around, but saw no one. Only a shadowy figure appeared in the dark space and then disappeared instantly. Scared, but steady, Lena continued her search and decided to visit Mrs. Marissa's house once more. When she knocked on the door, Mrs. Marissa opened it instantly, as if she had been waiting for her. "I knew you would come back," she said, her eyes full of concern. Mrs. Marissa led Lena into her home and told her another story, a story about a group of students in the village who went missing during a strange storm, and every time there was a storm, their souls would return. She explained that the only way to end the curse was to find the source of that strange storm. Lena was determined to uncover the truth about the strange storm. She began researching the storms in Blackwood's history. But the more she learned, the more she felt she was facing an unimaginable truth. One night, as the rain began to fall, Lena decided to venture into the forest behind the village, where Mrs. Marissa had said the source of the strange storms might begin. She walked along the path, feeling the chill and stillness surrounding her. She ventured deeper into the forest, and suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew through, making her feel like some strange presence was watching her. Odd noises echoed around her, as if someone was walking behind her in the darkness. Lena continued deeper into the forest, the sense of unease growing stronger. Suddenly, she saw an ancient stone gate with strange symbols carved into its surface. She approached, and the flashlight light illuminated the strange symbols, causing them to glow in the dark. The curiosity urged her to open the gate. As soon as she touched it, the gate creaked open with an eerie sound. Inside was a dark space, and a cold gust of wind blew through, making her shiver. Lena knew she was close to the answer, but she couldn't turn back. She stepped inside, and immediately, a chilling sensation enveloped her body. Inside was a vast room with stone walls, each covered in strange drawings and indecipherable symbols. One of the drawings resembled a map, leading to a central point in the forest. As Lena moved closer, she realized something terrifying. The map pointed to where she was standing, the center of a mysterious circle, where all the supernatural events originated. Fear surged through her, but at the same time, she knew this was the final clue to unravel everything. Suddenly, a voice echoed in the darkness, startling Lena. "You've come to the right place, but not everything you find will be what you expect." She turned around and saw a shadowy figure standing in the dark corner of the room. The figure slowly stepped out of the shadows. "I am a part of this forest," the voice continued. "The strange phenomena happen because we violated an ancient curse. You cannot escape this place unless you do one thing." Lena moved closer and asked, "What do I have to do?" The figure replied, "You must free your soul from this circle, but there will be a price to pay." Lena felt confused, but she knew this was the only thing she could do to end it all. Lena had no choice but to make the decision. She stood before an important choice, one that would change everything. She had to sacrifice a part of her soul to break the curse, and all the trapped souls in the forest would be freed. Lena stood tall and closed her eyes, the incantations from the ancient book echoing in her mind. She felt a change in the air around her, an invisible force encroaching. As she finished reading the last incantation, a strong wind blew through, and the light from the ancient gate began to glow brightly. A loud explosion rang out, and the gate erupted in blinding light. The souls trapped in the forest began to fade into the air, leaving behind a calm after the storm. Lena felt relieved, but there was also a lingering pain in her heart. The village of Blackwood was freed from the curse, and the supernatural phenomena no longer occurred. Lena knew that life in the village would return to peace, but she also knew that she would never fully escape the memories of the village and the souls she had freed. After the strange storm passed, Lena noticed a distinct change in the atmosphere. However, one night, as she sat in her room, strange lights appeared in the sky once more. This light was unlike anything she had ever seen, not like lightning, but dancing beams, as if some supernatural force was at play. Lena ran outside, looking up at the sky, and saw that the lights were forming a strange shape, almost like a portal. She felt a connection between them and the ancient gate she had uncovered in the forest before. This made her anxious, wondering if the souls she had freed had truly left. She decided to return to the forest to check. When she arrived, she saw that the ancient gate was still intact, but this time, the gate seemed to emit a faint glow, as if waiting for her. The feeling that everything wasn't over still lingered in Lena's heart. Lena moved closer to the gate and felt a cold breeze pass through. A voice from behind spoke. "You cannot stop now. This gate is the key to freeing the trapped souls." Lena turned around, and a shadowy figure appeared before her. It was the woman she had met in the forest earlier. The woman smiled at Lena, then said, "The curse is not over. This gate can open up to another realm, but to close it, the soul of the one who sacrificed must return and sacrifice again." Lena couldn't understand the meaning of this, but she felt an invisible force pulling her into the gate. A sense of fear and unease rose within Lena. but she knew what she had to do to end it all. She stepped through the gate, and immediately, the space around her changed completely. Everything became dark, hazy, and she found herself standing in another realm where the souls were still wandering. Lena saw the souls, all with desperate expressions. They could not move on and were still trapped in this realm. She felt their pain and knew that she had to make the final sacrifice to free them. Lena knew that she had to return to the gate and sacrifice herself once again. But this time, she wouldn't sacrifice her body, but her soul, to help those souls find eternal freedom. She stepped forward and prepared for the final sacrifice. Lena felt her soul leaving her body, but she didn't feel any pain. A sense of peace and relief engulfed her as she felt the other souls being freed. She saw them slowly fading into the bright space, where there was no more suffering. The village of Blackwood returned to peace, and all the strange phenomena had completely disappeared. Lena felt herself drifting away from the dark realm, knowing that she had completed her mission. The trapped souls had been freed, and the village was no longer haunted. Although Lena had sacrificed herself, she knew that her sacrifice had brought freedom to the village and the souls. She was forever a part of Blackwood, and her story would live on in the memories of the people there. The entire village of Blackwood had now completely changed. The strange supernatural phenomena were no longer happening. The souls that Lena had freed had found peace, and the village returned to its peaceful life as before. The dark clouds had cleared, making way for the bright blue sky and sunlight that bathed every corner of Blackwood. Though she had gone, Lena was no longer a trapped soul. She had become a part of Blackwood, a part of the mysterious tales the villagers would continue to tell. The village no longer had darkness or fear. The supernatural forces had left, and Blackwood was completely freed. The villagers would always remember Lena, the one who sacrificed herself to free them all. They would never forget the story of her courage and determination. The lessons of love, sacrifice, and bravery would live on in the village's oral traditions. As time passed, the memories of Lena would remain in the hearts of every villager in Blackwood. She had changed not only the village, but also the fate of the trapped souls. And the village would continue to live on, with no more darkness, only light and peace forever. Greystone Village lay hidden in a remote mountain range, far from the outside world. With its ancient houses and eerie atmosphere, Greystone always gave off a strange feeling to those who visited for the first time. Although few people lived there, anyone who had passed through spoke of inexplicable strange events. Megan, a young journalist, received an invitation to Greystone to write an article about the village. At first, she didn't believe the supernatural tales that the villagers whispered about, but she decided to come and uncover the truth. She didn't know that this trip would change her life forever. Upon arriving in the village, Megan immediately felt a stark difference. While the place seemed peaceful, a sense of eeriness and chill pervaded the air. She quickly realized that Greystone was unlike any village she had ever been to. One evening, while Megan was having dinner at the village's only inn, an elderly man approached her. "You shouldn't stay here too long," he whispered. "There are things we shouldn't touch." Megan didn't understand the meaning of the warning, but she felt that something sinister was waiting for her. Lena began walking around the village at night, wanting to learn more about the strange events Mrs. Marissa had mentioned. As she passed the old cemetery at the edge of the village, she felt a biting cold breeze sweep through. The air around her suddenly became thick, as if something was out of place. As Lena walked past the cemetery, she heard faint whispers, as if someone was calling her name. She turned around, but saw no one. Only a shadowy figure appeared in the dark space and then disappeared instantly. Scared but steady, Lena continued her search and decided to visit Mrs. Marissa's house once more. When she knocked on the door, Mrs. Marissa opened it instantly, as if she had been waiting for her. "I knew you would come back," she said, her eyes full of concern. Mrs. Marissa led Lena into her home and told her another story. A story about a group of students in the village who went missing during a strange storm. And every time there was a storm, their souls would return. She explained that the only way to end the curse was to find the source of that strange storm. Lena was determined to uncover the truth about the strange storm. She began researching the storms in Greystone's history, but the more she learned, the more she felt she was facing an unimaginable truth. One night, as the rain began to fall, Lena decided to venture into the forest behind the village, where Mrs. Marissa had said the source of the strange storms might begin. She walked along the path, feeling the chill and stillness surrounding her. She ventured deeper into the forest, and suddenly, a strong gust of wind blew through, making her feel like some strange presence was watching her. Odd noises echoed around her, as if someone was walking behind her in the darkness. Lena continued deeper into the forest, her sense of unease and fear growing. Suddenly, she discovered a large stone with strange symbols carved into it. Lena stopped, bent down, and took out a small notebook to take notes. The symbols were unlike any language she knew, but they felt eerily familiar. When she returned to the inn, Megan found Mrs. Marissa sitting at the door, waiting for her. Mrs. Marissa looked at her with a worried expression. "You can't understand it all, but if you want to learn about the storm, you must go back there before it's too late." Lena felt there was something very important Mrs. Marissa wasn't telling her. Lena couldn't shake the feeling that something was waiting for her in the forest. She decided to return there at night, hoping to find the answers to the strange events. Mrs. Marissa was right. Everything couldn't be explained, but it was too real to ignore. The entire village became silent as Lena entered the forest, as if every sound had been swallowed by an invisible force. Walking along the path, she felt a chill spread through her body. Everything became darker than ever as she ventured deeper into the forest. Suddenly, a strange light appeared ahead. She quickened her pace, hoping to find the source of that light. As she got closer, Lena saw a strange circle drawn on the ground, inside which were unusual drawings. The familiar feeling surged again, but she couldn't recall where she had seen these symbols before. As Lena looked closer, she realized that the symbols on the circle matched those on the stone she had seen earlier. At that moment, she understood that this was where the storm began, and it was these symbols that had triggered the curse. Suddenly, the wind howled loudly. A small storm began to form, with strong winds causing tree branches to break off. The strange lights started to glow, and Lena realized that this storm was not natural. It was connected to a supernatural force she couldn't explain. At this moment, a figure appeared within the storm. She turned around and realized it was a shadowy form, resembling a spirit. The figure moved quickly, as if swept by the wind, then suddenly stopped right in front of Lena. The voice of the spirit echoed in the cold air. "You've found the beginning, but this is not the end. This storm will never stop until you find its true source." Lena felt that something darker was waiting for her. Lena felt like she had gone too deep into a mystery she couldn't escape. But she couldn't turn back. Determined to uncover the truth, Lena continued into the storm, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Lena couldn't turn back now. It was too late. She stepped into the center of the strange storm, where the space was eerily still and dark. Suddenly, she discovered an ancient gate hidden by large stones. This was where everything began, and where it would all end. As Lena approached the gate, the strange symbols on it began to glow. These lights resembled the beams she had seen in the sky before. A strange sensation enveloped her as the gate slowly opened, and Lena stepped into another realm, where time and space no longer followed normal rules. She realized that she was no longer in the real world. Everything around her was blurry, with ghosts from the past appearing. She heard whispers, soft breaths in the air, as if the trapped souls were watching her. Suddenly, a voice echoed from the darkness. "You've come to the right place, but everything is not as you think. This gate is not for freeing us, but for keeping us trapped." Lena turned around and saw a familiar ghost. It was the elderly man she had met at the inn. The ghost of the elderly man continued, "You freed the souls in the forest, but we cannot be free. This gate is where our souls are trapped, and to free everyone, you must destroy it forever." Lena felt fear rising within her. She had to destroy this gate to free the souls. But something deep inside her mind told her that this wasn't going to be easy. She couldn't do this alone. She turned around and realized that Mrs. Marissa was standing there, right beside her. "You can't do this alone. Lena, I've known, and I will help you." Mrs. Marissa handed her an ancient book containing secrets about the gate and how to break it. The book recorded that in order to destroy the gate, they had to combine the power of the sacrificed soul with an ancient curse. Lena felt the connection between herself and these souls growing stronger. Lena decided to perform the final curse. She stood facing the gate, the book in her hands, and the prayer began to echo in the air. She felt the power of the sacrificed souls supporting her. As she recited the final incantation, the gate began to shake violently. The symbols on the gate glowed like lightning, creating a powerful vortex. The entire village and the forest trembled, as if reacting to the curse. Suddenly, the gate exploded, creating a blinding light that erased the darkness. The trapped souls began to fade into the bright space, and the wind, sweeping through the forest, no longer carried the sense of doom. After the gate shattered, the village of Greystone slowly recovered. The strange phenomena had disappeared. No more strong winds or strange lights suddenly appearing. The sky was now clear and peaceful. Lena stood in the middle of the village, feeling the change she had brought about. Lena felt a warm breeze surround her body. She no longer felt any threat or pressure. All the souls had been freed, and she felt an absolute peace. However, she also knew that she would never forget what she had gone through in Greystone. Although the village was freed from the curse, Lena could not forget the souls she had helped. She had sacrificed so much to bring them freedom. But it was that very sacrifice that made her realize that sometimes, to save others, one must sacrifice oneself. The villagers would never forget Lena, the one who freed them from the strange storms and the trapped souls. Her story would live on in the legends of Greystone as a testament to courage and sacrifice. And so, Greystone returned to peace, no longer haunted by the supernatural phenomena. Lena had fulfilled her mission and could rest, knowing that the village would live in eternal peace.